Welcome to Direct RC. I'm Zach, and today I'm going to show you how to go ahead and install the new Furitek Microsilk. This is a new system that just came out from Furitek. It is their new Micro Python ESC paired with their mini Komodo 2500 kV pancake motor. So stay tuned and let's see how this thing goes. Welcome to Direct RC. I'm Zach, and today we are going to be doing something pretty cool. We've got the Furitek system here. It is the Furitek Microsilk. So essentially what it is a new improved Micro Python with the mini Komodo, which is a 2500 kV. It also comes with a motor mount for it as well, so it is definitely tailored directly for the Scx24. Now, it looks like we should be able to jump off of the receiver that is already here in the Scx24 itself. We're going to go ahead and use another one of my Scx GX 470s here. I really like this hard body. It's a super sweet hard body, and it's got its own wheelbase length too, which is pretty interesting. So it'll be really cool to see how it crawls on the rocks with this new system here. From my understanding, you're going to be able to get some really low speed control out of this, and also being supposedly as small as it is, but it's going to also be able to be hidden, take up a little less space. So let's go ahead and put this guy to the side here. X-Acto knife. Cut this open here like so. First off, it looks like we're going to get some nice instructions here. It looks like a Furitek MicroPython manual. Kind of gives you a general idea of how it works, and it shows you that you've got your Bluetooth dongle. So that definitely looks like that's where they're taking up a lot of that space, out of that space there, making the Bluetooth, a removable dongle. Kind of shows you details on how to calibrate and everything else. Go ahead and open up this box here. Okay, so this is, and I'm super excited. Oh man, that thing is tiny. Look how tiny that is. Holy cow. That is simple. Not all those extra wires. I mean, aesthetically it looks beautiful. Look at that. Man, that is cool. Rock on. Awesome. All right, and we got that signature Furitek motor mount there. So, and also we got ourselves the Bluetooth adapter. Perfect. Now we got the Furitek Mini Komodo. It is an 1806 size 2500 kV motor. They've had this motor out for a while, and it's kind of a pancake motor. Definitely going to get a little bit more, that slow, low control out of this guy here. So you have the mini Komodo and the micro Komodo. The micro Komodo is definitely a smaller can, takes up less space. The mini Komodo is just, it's flatter, and yeah. And then the other thing that they gave us here, they gave us an extra thing, two-sided sticky tape, and then it also looks like they went ahead and provided us with the connector that'll actually connect to your receiver. And a nice little tool there too. Oh, just in case you have to remove the pinion off the motor, they gave you that little tool too. So rock on. So let's go ahead and crack into this thing here. Scx24. Let's go ahead and pull the battery out. We've got all these wires here. Let's get that out of the way. Let's go ahead and, for all purposes, let's go ahead and remove servo. Get that out of the way. And the lights, let's get that out of the way. Okay, so it looks like we have 4 screws on the side holding this upper tray. Let's go ahead and get those out. So we got the old motor out, the transmission out. So now what we need to do is we need to pull the transmission apart, pull the motor plate off, and then we're going to put it back together, put this guy back in, and this in. off now. Now we're gonna go ahead and what we're gonna need to do is we're gonna have to pull the spur gear off first to get to this screw that's behind it so we can pull the motor off, and then once that's off, we're gonna go ahead and pull this plate off and put this new one on. Along with that spur gear. Two. We took those other two off at the beginning and right off it comes. Now you want to make sure you hold on to that because if you don't, it will fall apart on you. Now that we have that, there's 3 screws. You pull those 3 screws off, and then this will literally sit right on top of this, and it will match up with all those holes. Like so. And then you're going to go ahead and put those screws back in. So let's go ahead and do that. Now that we have that on, let's go ahead and put the spur gear back on. Everything's spinning nice and good. All right. Now we're going to go ahead and mount up the motor. Now that we have everything back in here like so, we're going to go ahead and mount this on. This little plate here. And then once we mount the plate on, then we'll go ahead and we will mount the motor on. In your box here, you're gonna see 4 motor mount screws. Looks like they give you 2 extra just to be on the safe side. With that, we'll take those 2 screws here. Got some Loctite with us. What I always like to do is go ahead and start your motor screws, which are always gonna be 1.5 with our motor mount screws. Go ahead and put just a little bit of purple Loctite on there, just to make sure it stays nice and secure, it doesn't go anywhere, because these guys have just a little bit more torque than the stock ones do. Again, throw a little Loctite. Now, before you tighten everything down, you want to make sure that your mesh is set to where you want it to be. Making sure the screws are loose. All right, so we got it all mounted back together. We got the mesh set nice and well. Nice flow spin there. So now let's go ahead and plug it into everything and make sure it all works. So I've got the battery, as you can see, plugged into the receiver, or to the ESC, the MicroPython. The MicroPython plugged into the 2-in-1. What you're gonna do is you're gonna not use the battery or the motor spots here, and you're actually just gonna plug into the throttle. And it's actually, if you can see here, it is right there. You see throttle. So you just plug that in, and that gives you full access to running your receiver. So that's plugged in, that's plugged in. Let's go ahead and plug in the motor here. Once it's all plugged in, we can turn it on. That's a good sound. It means everything's paired well. And then if we go ahead and spin that, we can see, oh yeah, look at that. Ooh, look how slow that is. All right, cool. So once we put it all in, we'll go ahead and we'll calibrate it and see how it does. Back in, what we're gonna wanna do is we're gonna put it in and see which way we're gonna wanna mount it. Typically, with these Furiteks, you wanna have them front mounted. So it looks like everything's gonna mount well there. I'm thinking probably the only thing we'll need to do is we'll need to, and this is completely on you if you'd like to do so, but you'll go ahead and this one we'll have to chop. So yeah, we'll go ahead and I'll show you exactly what you would need to do if you were gonna go that route. Now that we have that all in, we know we're gonna do the front motor mount. You can also look at it and see, if you were gonna use the stock one, you would have to pull this around to switch it around. However, I think we're just gonna go ahead and leave it front mounted. We're gonna go ahead and put our drive shafts back on the front, and then the rear, just like so. Remember, this is plastic, so don't over tighten it. Pretty much get it to where it needs to be, and then I always say just a little bit more past that and you should be good. Anything more than that, you probably end up breaking stuff. All right, so as you saw there's these two little clips here on the GX. Every model is going to be a little bit different, but as you can see, you can pop those two off there. This is your front body mount, so that'll actually just mount right back up and there, like so. So you don't have to do any cutting, which is awesome. We'll just have to look at remounting the ESC. I think is probably going to be the only thing we're going to see that we have to do. So let's go ahead and do all this real quick. Just for now, we're gonna set that right there. Whoa, look at that. All right. Throw that on. And there you have it, folks. There it is. Oh, looks like we're gonna have to reverse. All right. Now we have it on and we have the Bluetooth dongle in. We're gonna go ahead and open up your Furitek app, let it scan, and as long as it's plugged in, it should pull it up. Go and connect to your RC car. Here where it opens up our telemetry when we want to go to running. Now, if you notice, I'm pushing forward and it's going backwards. So what we need to do is we're going to go to rotation direction, go counterclockwise, or you can do this. Go to throttle, go to calibrate, ask yes you would like to calibrate. So set 0 speed, then click OK. And then you select max speed for throttle, click OK. Release, set max brake, click OK. And it should, then click yes. There it is. Holy cow, look how slow that is. Wow, that is impressive. That is super impressive. Look at that. That is just super smooth, nice through, all the way through. Now, as you can see here, let's just go over a couple things, because when you are in this, the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to set your voltage cutoff to 3.4. Your voltage output on your servo is 5.5, which is perfect for your stock servos. If you go to a higher voltage output servo, higher torque rating, like the torque servos, the torque MLS 1024, the MLS 1022 servo. The MLS 1022 servo, you could go to 7.5. You do not, I repeat, want to do that on a stock servo. Now we've got all that done here. We're going to go ahead and now that that's all done, folks, like I said, you can see here, it's a pretty easy done. You do have to do a little bit of modification depending on the vehicle. For this one here, it looks like we're probably going to have to go ahead and create like a little ESC tray for it, for the receiver ESC, but being the ESC being so small, you could even put it on the side tray here if you wanted. Battery also, probably going to mount that behind the receiver. So there you have it, folks. There is a quick how to install the Furitek Microsilk on your Scx24. As you can see, you don't really have any motor clearance issues. That's pretty simple. Definitely going to want to put you know, a couple zip ties there, make sure it's all knotted up nice and straight. But after all, like I said, this is a Furitek Micro Komodo, and when you start doing things like this, you're going to dive deep into fully customizing your crawler to be what you want it to be. Like you saw the cameraman's crawler, there's so many things you can do. The sky is not the limit when it comes to these crawlers. All right, folks, remember you can find this system and other Furitek systems at directrc.com. This Furitek system, the Microsilk, is going for $99.99. Comes with a micro Python and the mini Komodo motor. So after installing the Microsilk system into the Scx24, I have to tell you, pretty easy install. Give yourself about an hour, maybe an hour and a half, depending on how you are about setup and everything else of that sort. You have super low crawl control. I really like the drag brake system on it. And then also the capability to be able to use the 2-in-1 ESC receiver that's already in the Scx24. Just to jump off of that, super user-friendly, definitely worth it. For $119.99, you can't beat the price. Remember, everything that is on this video here, you can find at directrc.com. All orders of $100 or more does get you free shipping to all 50 states in the United States. Guys, thank you so much for joining me here at Direct RC. I'll see you next time crawling on the rocks.